C.
Give me a K.
K.
Give me an S.
S.
What's that spell?
Lick.
That's right, licks. Licks, 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 licks. Ahoy, crew members, and welcome aboard. I'm Paul, and in this hour, we're going to be going over some techniques that I use to work on my picking, my left-hand hammer-ons and pull-offs, and a lot of different arpeggio techniques. I'll also give you fingerings that you can put those in and make actual music. But before we get started, let's tune up. Here's an E, a B, a G, the D, an A, and the low E. For the first couple of years that I played guitar, I was pretty convinced that I'd never be able to pick fast. It pretty much all goes back to some guitar lessons I had when I was 6. I got discouraged and gave up, and then started again when I was 9, but I had a real warped memory of how to play the guitar, what the guy had shown me. For some reason, I thought that he told me only to do upstrokes with my right hand and only to use the middle finger on my left hand, which you can imagine how limiting that was to my playing. I remember hearing something where I had to do kind of a gallop, and I was trying it with all upstrokes. It was impossible. I just definitely had a lot of trouble. When I was 11, I started taking guitar lessons again, and the teacher took one look at me and said, well, you can do downstrokes and you can use the other fingers on your left hand. And after that, things definitely progressed a lot faster. One of the licks that really, really helped out my picking a lot is based on something I call just 3-note per string patterns, where you have 3 notes on a string. In this case, for this exercise, we're using B, C, and D on the 12th fret of the B string. You start with a downstroke, and then to alternate pick, you just do something different than you did the last time. So it'd be down on the B, an up on the C, and a down on the D. The hardest thing about alternate picking is when you have to go to the next string. You have to jump, and there's tons of noises that can happen if you're not careful. A real good exercise for this is basically doing just that, jumping over the string. The note I hit is E with my first finger on the 12th fret of the high E string. So the exercise has got only 4 notes in it, and then I go back down and I descend. So the whole thing sounds like that. Sounds pretty simple like that when you speed it up. It's a great lick. Right there at the end, I did a sequence that basically just exaggerates the more difficult part of the lick, which is crossing over the string. I go from the E to the D note, which is on 2 different strings, and it would be an upstroke on the E and a down on the D. And I do that twice before I descend. So the whole lick is going to sound like this. One more time. If you have trouble with this, really concentrate on getting the upstrokes on the E note. That's a lot of times if I have trouble with a lick, I can kind of pinpoint the problem, and I found that usually is the problem in that one is doing the ups on the E note. You can even exaggerate the motion at first. You won't be able to play it as quickly, but it'll help you play it clean, or help the idea in your mind. So let's hear that one up to speed. It also sounds really good alternated with the normal 4 up and down. That would be something like this. So the first time I just go straight and then alternate between the 2. Real aggressive sounding. One of the ways to practice this that really helps a lot also is to try it with a clean tone. A lot of times with the distortion, it masks the way the string will sound. So when initially practicing these, you might want to have a cleaner tone. You may have to pick a little bit harder than you would with distortion, but it gives you a lot of control, and it's a lot easier to lighten up on the pick and than it is to get harder. So playing with a clean tone really helps that. Another variation that really helped my picking out a lot is real similar to the 4-note sequence, except this time it's got 6 notes. Basically the same thing. We'll keep the same position, just add F sharp and G, which will keep us in E minor. Again, you get that same upstroke on the E note. Keep thinking about that. And let's hear that one up to speed. That's one of my favorites. This sounds real good in combination with 4. If you do 4 notes up and down and then 6 notes up and down, that's going to sound like this. Let me do that slow so you can hear how it goes. One more time. I use a lot of these combinations between 4, 6, and also going between the 2 strings for improvisation, this kind of thing. Loads of fun.